I was like, you know what? It was like a light bulb went off on my head. Hi guys, it's Whitney again. I just wanted to say I just had to. I just had to. Okay. Thank you for coming back. Welcome back to my channel. It's Whitney. How y'all guys doing? I'm doing good, as you can see. Alright, so as you can see, I basically look the same as my last channel because I just shoot them in the same day. It's no point of getting ready multiple times when I can just change my shirt and make y'all think that this is another day. But we're going to post it another day so that you guys feel like it's new. So, today the video is going to be about the different platforms. So, we're not talking about Poshmark today. We're going to be talking about Mercari, eBay, and Depop. So, I think I'm going to start this off by talking about how I got started on each one of those platforms instead of kind of going into like all the specifics and differences and stuff with those, because I do want to save those for future videos, and also hopefully it won't make this video too long. I need to change my background too, you guys, don't you think? It's kind of plain. This is where I take my photos, so it's just like the perfect background to video, but from my last videos, I just feel like there's just not much to it, and it's just a plain white sheet behind me. So that's something else I'm going to be working on. I want to have something that's a little bit more visually appealing in the background as opposed to just a white sheet behind me. But anyway, let's get into the video. So we're going to start with Mercari, because I think Mercari was where I went to after Poshmark. So I started off with Mercari. Remember when they used to have those commercials for Mercari? I remember those. They were weird commercials, but I remember they used to have those commercials for Mercari, and it was after those commercials, obviously, that I think I started. I don't remember exactly what made me think about getting on Mercari, but it could have been a commercial, it could have been something I saw online or anything like that. But I got on Mercari, and I got on it through the laptop and not on my phone, and I don't know if that could have made a difference with my start to Mercari, but it did. So I got on Mercari on my laptop, and it was not too long after I started on Poshmark, because I remember having a couple of the same things listed on there. And the way Mercari looked on the laptop was so confusing. So if memory serves, I think it was like on this side of the computer was all the listings that everybody had. And then there was just like this little sliver here that showed like the stuff that you were selling and your dashboard and all of that stuff, and just literally just the way it looked confused me so much that I went on there. I think I listed 2 things. I don't remember getting any interest or anything like that, honestly, but that was all. And then I stopped doing Mercari because I'm like, this is just too much to navigate. It's just not user friendly. This looks crazy, and I just can't do it. So then maybe, I don't know, it could have even been like a year later, it could have been more, who knows. But then sometime later, I decided to try Mercari again, and this time I used the app on the phone. And when I did that, it was a world of difference. Now, personally, I think they may have just changed it, like updated the app or updated the site a lot to where it didn't look so confusing. But the second time around, it reminded me a little bit more of Poshmark, and was a lot more easier to navigate, a lot more user-friendly. So I started on there, and it wasn't too bad after. Yeah, it was a little bit wild, because I remember getting back on Mercari once I got to Texas, and I first got on Mercari back in Philly, and I think I might have been living with my mom at that point too. So I don't know, but regardless, it's irrelevant. But yeah, I got on there and just started posting stuff. cross-posting some of the stuff that I had from Poshmark, and I actually started making sales. I don't think they started very quickly though, but not that long either. But once, I tell you, every site you start on, once that first sale come in, once those first couple sales come in, it's just like, it's why stop? You just can't stop anymore. So I started just putting more and more on Mercari and started selling on there. Now let's get into eBay. Yeah, eBay. So eBay. eBay was the first ever platform that I attempted, I'll say, selling on, even before I even knew what a Poshmark was. And I went on eBay in college. And I started eBay because I think I was probably watching YouTube videos, or I was just seeing stuff in my eyesight a lot of how you can sell clothing online for a profit. And so I decided to try eBay. So at that time, I wasn't thrifting. I wasn't doing much of nothing. I literally just took stuff that I didn't wear anymore out of my closet and just started trying to post stuff on there. And it was a hot mess. I was living in New York with two other guys in almost like a duplex place. So we was at the top part, and then the guy who owned the building was at the bottom. And I was like on the door of the apartment trying to get pictures, on the handle of the door. So my pictures, instead of being smart and using like the top part of the door, because I think that was the only door in the house that was white, and for some reason I just had to have a white background. And so I put it on the handle of the door, so at the bottom, and tried to not have the clothes draping on the floor. Like, it was just a hot mess. I don't know what I was doing. Needless to say, I did not sell anything. I don't even think I really posted too much, but eBay was another one of those places that just was not user-friendly at all. I didn't quite understand it, didn't understand how to navigate too much, don't know if I was doing the descriptions right. Clearly my pictures were horrible, and it was just bad. And I'm kind of glad I didn't sell anything, because if I had to ship something through eBay, I don't know, I probably would have did it so wrong and then lost money, and then it would have just been a hot mess. But after the initial first time, after learning about Poshmark and Mercari and kind of understanding the business of resale a little bit better, and just kind of knowing what it is a little bit better, I decided to go back on eBay. And I remember doing this in Philly, or Pottstown, where we were living. And it was after the flea market thing, because that's what it was. It was my fiance, because he was good at eBay with selling his sneakers and the flea market stuff. So I was like, I'm going to try eBay, because he knows what he's doing. Maybe I could learn from him, and then also I kind of know from Poshmark and all the other places. So I got on eBay, and I think one of the first few things I sold on there was like baby wipes or something like that. It was just like random, like hard goods from the flea market. I really didn't do clothing on eBay like that. And I started selling like some here, and I was like, oh, okay, eBay is not that bad. Although I did mess up when it came to shipping. Now with Poshmark, obviously we're used to the set shipping of just £5, and the buyer only pays like $6 and change at that time. And then when I got to eBay, I posted up, it was like a 4-pack of like Disney Mickey Mouse baby wipes, and I had them up for one price. Somebody sent me an offer for something else, and I accepted it and was all hype and excited. And then when it came to shipping it, I think I made like $2, and I was so sad. I was so sad, but it was good that happened, because it made me like think like, okay, you got to do this a different way. And that was like the time that I ended up buying a shipping weight scale. on eBay so that I don't have to run into that problem anymore, because it was such a good sell in my opinion, because it was like the wipes only cost $1 at the flea market, and it sold for like 20 or 25, something like that, and then I just end up paying so much more in shipping. I'm guessing between the weight and where the person lived, it was just like ridiculous, and I was not happy about it, but it was a lesson learned. And so I'm glad it happened, because I didn't have to make that mistake again. But eBay was good to me initially, and then eBay just went downhill. And like I said, we'll talk about my woes with eBay in another video. Okay, now Depop. Once again, Depop was another. I think Poshmark was the only site that I got on that I didn't start on or start trying to sell on and then decided that I couldn't navigate this site. I didn't want to do it anymore, and then I went back. Although I had a Poshmark since 2012 somehow, some way, or I don't know. I don't know if I was really getting it to sell on or to buy on. I honestly can't remember, can't tell you. It could have been when I was in college when I was trying to do eBay. Who knows? I don't know. But I think Poshmark was the only one that was like instantly user-friendly, easy to use, easy to understand, all of that. But Depop I got on probably later, way later, maybe after we moved here. It was definitely after we moved here to Texas. And I just started seeing more. I don't know if Depop has commercials or if it was like YouTube ads or something of that sort, and that's how I found out about Depop, and was like, okay, let's try this out. Cross listing is where it's at, so we're gonna try another platform. So I went on Depop. At the time, I was already into vintage, because apparently the places here in Texas, the thrift stores here in Texas, just have a plethora of vintage items that are just amazing. So I just kind of fell into the vintage world without even trying necessarily. But because I was selling vintage, I decided to start to cross list the stuff on Poshmark, my vintage stuff on Poshmark, onto Depop to see how that would do. At the time, I was also modeling the clothes, so I was like, that's even more perfect, because that's what they do on Depop. Everybody models their stuff, and it's like Instagram and all of this stuff, so I'm gonna try it that way. I'm gonna just take what I was modeling already from Poshmark and put over there, as well as the stuff that I had on the mannequin and all of that. Well, I was on Depop for like months and sold not one thing. It was like so frustrating. It was so frustrating. And the even more frustrating thing was, one of my items even made it onto the Explorer page. So I had like 50 million thousand likes on the item, but nobody wanted to buy it. And I'm like, what the heck is the point of being on the Explorer page if it's not even going to help my item sell? And it's not like it was a lot like of money. It wasn't expensive or nothing. It was like $20, like $20 probably. And if somebody was interested, they obviously could have offered me something lower than that, and I probably would have took it, but nothing. This is the reason why now I hate being on the Explorer page, because, side note, even though I'll get into this in the future video, every single thing I've had on the Explorer page has never, ever sold. But I digress. So I decided that Depop was no longer worth my time, so I stopped doing Depop. Now, the way that I got back onto Depop is quite interesting. I was selling a pair of sneakers on Mercari, and the lady on there was interested in buying them. And we had settled on $100 or something for them. And she sent me a message and asked if I was on Depop, and if so, if I can cross-list those sneakers onto Depop, because Depop was running a promotion for free shipping on items, I think usually over $50. So I was like, okay. I'm cool with that. I have no problems as long as I make the sale. So I ended up going back to Depop to transfer those shoes over there, and she brought them from Depop so that she didn't have to pay shipping. I didn't have to pay shipping. Nobody had to pay shipping. And I was like, you know what? It was like a light bulb went off on my head. I was like, instead of me selling vintage on Depop, I'm gonna like take all the vintage stuff off and just sell sneakers, just sell Nike on Depop. And once I did that, I started making sales. And I was like, how ironic that the thing that Depop is kind of known for is what I couldn't sell the stuff for. But Nike, which I guess Depop is also kind of known for, it's like that street style, streetwear type stuff. But I'm like, that's just like how does that happen? And it didn't take months for me to sell my first item on Depop either. It was sort of quick, but I ended up started selling on Depop because I decided to go another route, and it actually worked. So I was very happy about that. And so now I have Depop, eBay, Mercari, and Poshmark. I also did sell on a site called Vinted, which I liked as well. I guess I could touch on that real quick a little bit. Vinted is very unique in the fact that it doesn't have any seller fees, which is what attracted me to it. I don't remember how I found out about it or what, but I did, and I started to post on there, and it was slow. It was kind of like how Depop was at the beginning. It was hard to sell on there, but when I did make sales, it was just so gratifying because I didn't have to pay any fees. Apparently the buyer pays a fee, and then the buyer also pays for shipping unless you like specifically agree with the buyer that you'll pay for shipping. But Vinted was one of those platforms that I could not let go, because although I barely made any sales, it was like once a month, if that. It was like when that one sale did come in, all the money I could keep for myself instead of paying a fee. So in my mind, it was worth it. But after a while, it was like the sales was just really kind of becoming non-existent, and I decided to just stop selling on there. I have been thinking about going back on there and trying the bump thing, because on Vinted they have this thing called bump, which you do have to pay for, and I guess it like bumps your items to the top of search, and that's apparently the way to make money on Vinted. But I was just always too chicken to try it or whatever. But I think I might go back to it and see if that helps out a little bit, because it's not too much to bump in the grand scheme of things. I think it's like $1 or something per listing. I don't know, but I figured it could be worth a try if I'm able to sell a good consistent amount and still not have to pay a fee for it. But yeah, those are basically the beginnings of how I got onto each platform that I currently sell on right now. And then in future videos, I do want to talk about like the difference between them, which ones I like the most, which ones are better for what things, and kind of just delve a little bit deeper into it. I don't want this to be just a Poshmark channel. I kind of want to branch out a little bit more into other platforms, because I know that there's just really not a lot of information out there on other selling platforms as there is on Poshmark. So I want to help out those people who are selling on Depop, Mercari. eBay has a lot on there too, so but a little bit of eBay too. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope there were good stories for y'all, a little bit entertaining. And I hope you come back to see me again for another video. I'll see you again. Bye.